The Nintendo Switch 2 proves that we are going in a very bad direction. And what do I mean by this? Now, this is not another video criticizing the Nintendo Switch 2 or Nintendo as a company. This is just a video using the Nintendo Switch 2 as a perfect example of the fact that our world is becoming grayer and sadder. Now, many of you have noticed, obviously, I hope, that color is being removed from the world. Right? I mean, what happened to the colors, you know? I mean, just look at, the world in the 50s, 60s, everything was so colorful. The cars, the chairs, the restaurants, everything was just so like, kind of colorful and just so bright and vibrant. And, over time, everything has just kind of become grayish and black and or like white, right? And the Nintendo Switch 2, in my opinion, was like the breaking point, right? Because like it was like the Nintendo Switch, the original Nintendo Switch. It was a colorful console. It was a console with colorful joysticks. Okay, it wasn't the most colorful console, but it was pretty damn colorful, right? And then they released the Nintendo Switch 2, and whenever they did, I was just really disappointed with the design. The design of, the Switch 2 is just incredibly boring. I mean, they just took a basic handheld and they just made a basic handheld, right? The Nintendo Switch, the original one, it looks so bright, so colorful, it has a personality. And the new one, the second one, is just literally, it's like the Steam Deck. I mean, it looks like any other kind of boring, bland, no brand game, handheld. It looks like something you could get on AliExpress. Like the design is just completely horrible and it lacks color. Now, I understand that, design kind of changes and, how we make things changes over time. But I think that, this kind of discoloration is just, it's really negative because the products we buy, the products we use really affect how in my opinion, kind of affect how we look at the world. And if everything is just gray, then, your kind of world becomes gray. If your chairs are gray, everything's just gray and boring, then you become gray and boring. Now, this is not, I personally do not like the Nintendo Switch. I do not like Nintendo, but, that's my subjective opinion, and, nobody else has to kind of take anything from that. I just kind of wanted to talk about, what is happening and what we should do about it, because I think that we need to start reintroducing color into our lives. And in general, I think it all started with, in the like, you know, 90s, I would say 80s. It was kind of, starting in the 90s where everything was just becoming, gray and boring. And, nobody really cared for color, right? Everything needed to look professional and, like kind of cold, I guess, right? I mean, God forbid you make a gaming console, a bit brighter. God forbid you make, a PC. Actually, this is one thing: the PC case industry, as much as it's still like a lot of PC cases are black and stuff. I see a lot of PC cases and stuff like that that have been customized and also are being sold with interesting colors and designs. So that's actually one area where this isn't exactly very true. But if you look at, for example, Starforge PCs, like their three main PCs are just bland black cases. I mean, sure you can add some customization, but in general, still mostly black. And we not only see this in products, we see this in graphic design too. If you look at websites, if you look at what's happening to every website in the world, it's just bland. And this is something that wasn't happening in the 2000s. In the 2000s, if you remember Windows XP, and the old internet, everything was kind of this Frutiger Arrow style, right? And it was all like really bright, and it was kind of hoping for a better future. And whatever we have now, it's just it's bland, right? I think people just kind of got tired of that, overly, I don't know, maybe saturated look, right? But I really miss, the old kind of vibe that we had, the kind of ability to be creative. Because if you look at websites nowadays, they're all the same. Like, right? Like if you look at, let's say, you open up YouTube, it looks the same as Twitter, and Twitter looks the same as, I don't know, TikTok, and as Reddit. Everything is just the same. They have a black or white background text, and user content. They're not trying to be innovative. And for example, YouTube used to have a cool star system, right? Or some kind of unique something unique about it. Now it's literally just a boring platform for videos, right? We have the like and the dislike button, a subscribe button, and that's it, right? I mean, YouTube as a site is not trying to be creative. They're just trying to be kind of okay, this is a site where you can upload your videos. It's like Google Drive, basically. And they don't even like allow creators to really customize anything except their content. Like, sure, you can upload a little favicon or and a little banner and make a cool name and put something in your bio, but that's about it. Like, there's that customization that we should have. It's not there, right? What I liked, in Twitch is that you can customize the color of your kind of stream, right? Which is like, I mean, it's something, right? It's something to, make you kind of more interesting. And obviously, this is a kind of hard line. If, YouTube gives, kind of tries and be too unique, they might, make something that, is annoying, right? And make the site kind of annoying to use. But I think that, come on, we're smart. We're humans. We can figure out something, right? I mean, at least like customize the YouTuber's kind of page, somehow add a cool background, not only a banner, right? Like the kind of profile of in all of these sites is the same. Now, I started with the Nintendo Switch, and I kind of started going talking about websites, but I think that we have overly started to go into minimalism, I guess, stuff like that, where everything just needs to be just boring boxes and stuff, right? I mean, logos, for example, look at every logo. Logos used to be 3D. They used to have some sort of like, unique aspect, and and now they do not. Like, for example, look at the old Apple logo, not the first Apple logo, but the Apple logo with the rainbow. Like, sure, like, it wasn't like necessarily Google, level, like, Google had, that 3D kind of thing, or Chrome, but Apple, they still had some color in their logo. And then they removed the color. Now, obviously, I will give Apple the credit of being the first to start this trend. So, like, they were actually unique with this, right? They were unique with that kind of flat look and, their style. But the problem is when everybody just starts copying that style, right? Or, for example, okay, I'm gonna stop naming all of the goddamn companies that, made their logos bland and boring. But I think that, we just need to start adding more color to everything. Basically, like, obviously don't add color, to, I don't know. But for example, what I really like about Apple's Mac, not MacBooks, but Mac computers, iMacs, is that they have them in colors. Like, they have a yellow iMac, they have a red iMac, and that is something that I really appreciate. And they are actually making their tech colorful, right? Or I will say that they have their tones and the colors are not as bright, but it's much more than for example, my black monitor, right? My monitor is just plain old black. I mean, obviously from one perspective it's kind of good because it doesn't interfere with the content I use, but at least people should have a choice, or at least like make it so that it's colorful but it doesn't interfere. Essentially, and Apple also, the colors, Apple's not the best company to start really glazing, but I sincerely think that the world is becoming less colorful by the day, right? And I think that really needs to change. I think that people need to start kind of companies need to start standing up and adding color. And that's my main criticism of Nintendo. Like, I wanted to make a video about the Nintendo Switch situation, and I was like, okay, not gonna do that, right? Because, like, I don't really have an opinion. Like, I just think Nintendo is a bad company, and that's it. And I don't really use handhelds, so I'm not in a position to start like lecturing people on handhelds. But essentially, I like my main problem with Nintendo Switch 2 is the color. It's the design. I hate it. I like it is. as a design, as a product, design, it's fine, right? I mean, they did not break some design laws. Like, it's functional, okay, but it lacks personality. It lacks creativity. It lacks, uniqueness. And these companies, which were built on the idea of creativity and the idea of making something truly unique, now are becoming literally not unique, right? And they are, removing colors from everything. It's becoming like we are starting to live in a world which is colorless. Just look at the cars. I think the best example is the cars. Like, look at the cars in the 50s, right? And then look at the cars now. And it's not just about design, which is also, become, in my opinion, cars now look very mid. There are exceptions, but like, they look pretty mid. Like, look at a Tesla. Like, I like Tesla, in terms of, what they're trying to do, but just look at their cars. They're just so boring. Tesla looks like a blank canvas that somebody would give you. Okay, okay, this is a blank car. Now customize it, right? The thing is, you can't customize it. Like, it would be pretty cool if you could go to the Tesla website, right? And you could like, choose some sort of like cool design elements that you can add, not like 2D, but like actual 3D changes or something. I don't know. But most cars these days are really just black or white or gray. And obviously there are still some colorful cars, but nothing like in the 50s and the 60s. And I think once this trend kind of changes and people start appreciating colors more and everything like that, I think it will be just humans will just be happier, I think, right? Because we like colors. Like, who decided that we need everything to be black, right, or gray, or white, right? And it's just something that I noticed, and I think that things just should be more colorful, but not too colorful, obviously, or at least unique, right? Nintendo could have gone the you know gray way, that rhymes, and they could have done something unique, but they did not. They just literally they made a freaking a box with rounded edges, and that's it. They did not do anything unique at all with the Nintendo Switch 2. Nothing. And yeah, I had to say something, right? I think people are overly accepting of these types of things. I think that in general we just need to start kind of saying, hey, stop doing that. Okay, start making colorful products. Okay, we like your product. Okay, your product performs well. All right, the games are good, but please make a goddamn colorful console so we don't have to paint them ourselves. Because a lot of people are customizing their stuff just because the companies won't do it. Right. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the Nintendo Switch 2. I guess that's my take on the world becoming, losing color, and in the decline of humanity, I guess, right? So yeah, I guess, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, then leave a like. If you did not enjoy, then feel free to leave a dislike. And if you enjoy my content in general and want to see more, then please, subscribe. 99% of you guys are unsubscribed, so like, come on, guys, what is this? Press that subscribe button, be a good boy. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye. See you next time. Live long and prosper.